Okay, I'm going to show off my newest camera I have here. It's the Yashica TL Electro. These first came out in 1972. Named by the Yashica company, of course. Obvious. Comes with the Yashica 50mm 1.9 millimeter. This is the kit lens that came with it. 1.9 millimeter. f1.9. This camera is immaculate. I got it for $70, including its case. Also, a JCPenney branded lens. I don't know who made it. I know JCPenney didn't make it, but there's a lot of branded back 60s and 70s. There was a lot of store branded products. Doesn't necessarily mean it's bad quality, because some of it actually came from very good quality manufacturers. It was just branded by the store that sold it. But back to the Electro. It's a very basic manual focus, manual exposure. There is no automatic exposure on this at all. It has a very interesting, instead of using the needle that most of these cameras at this time period used, it add two LEDs, an upper and a lower LED. And the upper, of course, would be overexposed. The lower one would be underexposed. And when they both came on, you had perfect exposure, a correct exposure, or at least in the eyes of the camera. The big problem is with that system is because it was either on, off, or both on. You didn't have any indication of any exact under or overexposure. So if you needed something slightly overexposed or slightly underexposed, it did not. You had to kind of guess on it, because it was either telling you overexposed, underexposed, or kind of fading in between the two. But the advantage to this is because this is a stop-down system. Since there's no contacts between the lens and the camera, the camera has no idea what the real aperture setting is, like on the Nikon F or anything else. So when you press down to check to meter, it stops down the lens to whatever you have it set to. And when that happens on these type of cameras that use that stop down metering, your viewfinder gets very dark. Now the ones that use the needle, that rely on light coming through the lens to allow you to see the needle, if you have like a red filter, a polarizing filter, if you have several filters in front of it cutting in the light, and then you stop it down, sometimes you could not see that needle. But on this, with the LEDs, they're bright the entire time. You don't have that problem. There is another problem with this, is uses mercury cells. You can get adapters for that and use zinc air batteries that are for hearing aids. There's a slight voltage difference, but it does not seem to affect any real, because the voltage the camera calls for is 2.7. The adapters and the new batteries are about 2.8. But once you have all the contacts in there, all those adapters and everything else, you're probably sitting very close to 2.7 with all the resistances of the LED stacked up. I haven't developed any film out of this yet. I have a roll of HP5 in it right now. I'm going to take it out tomorrow, take some pictures, come home, develop it. I want to do a longer video on this. I want to explain more about the type of mount this uses. This uses the screw-on M42, which was kind of a generic mount. Pentax used it as well on like their Spotmatic, and there was a few other smaller camera companies that used it. So you have a very, very wide range of excellent lenses and a whole lot of stuff that was not very good, but you have a very good selection of it. But I'm going to take this out. We're going to do a much longer video on it. This is my first video for Man vs. Camera. Thank you for watching.